Let me start by setting the context for why we're here. This conversation isn't about a campaign. It's not about content production. And it's not about a one-time initiative. It's about exploring how QWFS can intentionally build and operate market authority as the business continues to grow. What we're looking at today is really an operational partnership between QWFS leadership, Megapixx Media, and the broader YYC business ecosystem focused on helping you scale credibility at the same pace you scale opportunity. And the timing for that conversation is important, because growth always introduces a second challenge. You're clearly in a growth phase. The network is expanding. Conversations are becoming more sophisticated. Expectations around leadership and expertise are rising. All of that is positive. But growth also increases exposure. And if authority doesn't scale with growth, the market starts to define your positioning instead of you defining it. So the real leadership question becomes, how do we structure authority intentionally? Which leads to what we're seeing in the market right now. Business owners today are looking for integrated clarity. Not just advice from individual specialists. They want to know who brings the ecosystem together, who creates structure, who helps them move forward with confidence. At the same time, advisors themselves need stronger positioning. They need visible proof of credibility. They need alignment. So growth creates opportunity, but it also creates complexity. And complexity requires structure, which is why this next shift matters. QWFS has already built something meaningful. You have trust. You have relationships. You have an ecosystem. The next evolution is helping the market experience QWFS not simply as a network of capable professionals, but as the authority platform that guides financially driven business growth. That shift changes perception, and perception changes opportunity flow. Which brings us to the long-term vision. Imagine a future where entrepreneurs across regions begin to see QWFS as the destination for financial clarity and strategic growth guidance. Partners view participation as positioning. Leadership experiences expansion that feels more predictable, and the organization gains institutional presence beyond any single individual. That's what structured authority enables. But it doesn't happen by accident. It happens through system design. Authority is something you build intentionally. It requires clarity of positioning, visible presence in trusted environments, circulation of credibility signals, and ongoing reinforcement. When those elements work together, authority compounds instead of resetting. This is where the concept becomes practical. One execution layer is creating a structured authority series, a hosted platform where real business challenges are discussed. Partners contribute insight. Leadership becomes visible in context. Over time, this creates a recognizable leadership stage, a place where clarity is associated with the QWFS brand. But once authority signals begin moving, they must be managed. Which brings us to stewardship. Authority is not self-maintaining. It requires leadership alignment, positioning refinement, partner coordination, consistent visibility cadence. This is less about marketing activity and more about operating an authority system. Because without stewardship, momentum fades. With stewardship, it compounds. And when authority compounds, perception shifts. To truly function, authority infrastructure needs governance, narrative consistency, leadership documentation, signal distribution, visibility discipline. This ensures the organization presents itself coherently as it evolves. When that happens, something interesting begins to occur. Most firms spend time trying to get noticed. Authority platforms are noticed naturally. Visibility becomes intentional. Reputation becomes structured. Growth conversations become easier. Instead of pushing for recognition, the organization begins to attract opportunity. And over time, authority itself becomes an asset. Once credibility is structured locally, it can be amplified nationally. Multi-city visibility. Permanent authority signals. Expanded ecosystem footprint. This supports recruitment, partnership growth, and market expansion. And the journey to get there can be staged logically. there's a clear progression. Install the authority platform. Activate leadership visibility. Scale recognition beyond the local market. Phased execution reduces risk and increases organizational alignment. And ultimately, it leads to measurable outcomes. At maturity, authority changes how opportunity behaves. Opportunities begin moving toward QWFS. Partners seek participation. Client confidence strengthens. Leadership positioning compounds. Authority becomes part of the organization's growth engine, which leads to what this enables: stronger institutional credibility, higher quality referrals, greater advisor attraction, a scalable expansion platform. These are strategic outcomes, not just visibility outcomes, and they bring us to the leadership decision. So the final question isn't tactical, it's strategic. Is this the right stage of growth to intentionally install and operate an authority platform? If it is, the next step is simply defining pace, alignment, and execution approach. Authority is not built once. It's governed as the organization evolves.